Welcome back to the Bridge Course conducted by NLE Society's Dr. R.B. Patil Mahesh, PU Science College. Students, in the last video, we discussed important basic concepts of transport system. Whereas today, let us try to understand few more concepts of plant physiology in the topic life processes. Students, when we walk, when we ride bicycle, when we do hard work, and if we do nothing, that is if we take rest, then also we need energy. The question is why energy is required? Energy is required to do the metabolic activities. From where we are getting this energy? We are getting this energy from the source called nutrition. What is nutrition? In general language, it is the food which we consume. The food will be rich with different types of minerals and nutrients. When that undergoes oxidation, it gives us energy. When we speak about nutrition, two things come in our mind. There are few organisms which can synthesize their food on their own by using simple sources in the form of carbon dioxide and water. And such organisms are called as autotrophs. Okay, autotrophs include green plants, they include algae, and also they include few photosynthetic bacteria. All these organisms which we have shown here will be with the pigment called chlorophyll. Bacteria will be with chlorophyll and bacterioviridin, with the help of which it is going to convert solar energy into chemical energy. On the other hand, there are few more organisms which cannot synthesize their own food material. They are dependent upon complex food substances on other organism. They will be dependent on the other organism for the sake of the food. And such organisms will make the complex food to undergo oxidation. They allow the food to undergo oxidation by using different type of enzymes. And such organism, I think so you understood, are called as heterotrophs. Hetero means different, troph means food. So organism which is dependent on other organism for the sake of the food is called as heterotroph. So heterotrophs can be systematically defined as the organisms which cannot synthesize their own food. They are dependent on the autotrophs directly or indirectly. So as you know, herbivore, carnivore, decomposer, like the different categories of heterotrophs will be there. So not only the animals act as heterotrophs, there are plants like fungi, because it's devoid of chlorophyll, it doesn't contain chlorophyll, so it will be also dependent upon other organism for the sake of the food. Okay, in addition to that, here is a slide of insectivorous plant. So yes, you might have heard about pitcher plant. Like that, there are many more plants are there which will kill insects so as to fulfill the nitrogen deficiency, and thus they also become what? Heterotrophic type of organism. Okay, now coming to autotrophic nutrition. As we are discussing this topic in plant physiology, we will not discuss about heterotrophic nutrition, we will discuss about autotrophic nutrition. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Auto means self, trophic means food. So organisms which can synthesize their own food, okay, that is called autotrophic nutrition. How do the plants do this? They do with the help of a process called as photosynthesis. Photo means sunlight, synthesis means synthesizing the food. So all the green plants have a capacity of using carbon dioxide and water. With the help of chlorophyll and in presence of sunlight, they can convert the carbon dioxide and water in the form of a carbohydrate called as glucose. Let's define this systematically. Photosynthesis is the anabolic process in which carbohydrates are synthesized from carbon dioxide, water by green plants using radiant energy of sun, and also they release or they give us a life-giving gas called as oxygen. So this whole process which is there is called as photosynthesis. So we are going to discuss in brief how photosynthesis takes place. Okay, so in the photosynthesis, inorganic components like carbon dioxide and water, see the reaction there, will be converted into, okay, during the conversion plants make use of sunlight and they make use of chlorophyll, and CO2 and water will be converted into a chief food called glucose, and also they release what? Oxygen. Actually students, this is regarded as the old equation. So the new equation, according to new equation, there will be even release of what? Water. Okay, so that becomes a new equation. Okay, so that we are going to study how the old equation was disproved and a new equation we got. Okay, so now let's try to understand. Carbon dioxide and water are converted into organic carbohydrates as glucose, and also there is a release of oxygen. So let's balance the equation. 6CO2 plus 12H2O giving rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2, and if you remember 6H2O, so that becomes overall reaction for the photosynthesis. So during photosynthesis, see this picture carefully. What happens? The green plants are going to capture the sunlight, and that sunlight will be converted into food, and that is called as a carbohydrate. Okay, so now the question is where this fantastic phenomena is taking place. This phenomena is taking place inside the chloroplast. So site of photosynthesis is said to be what? Chloroplast. So where the chloroplast will be? It will be present in the green parts of the plant body, and especially more number of chloroplasts will be present in the leaf. Now consider a leaf with large surface area, and if we take a section of the leaf, okay, we are going to see upper epidermis and lower epidermis. In between these two there will be parenchyma cells present. Okay, so now the parenchyma cells which you are able to see here are bit elongated, and they are called palisade and chlorenchyma. Parenchyma with chlorophyll, so it is called chlorenchyma, whereas the lower region of this will be made up of more or less oval or circular shaped cells which is called spongy. These together of the chlorenchyma tissue will make a mesophyll cell. So inside this mesophyll cell there will be cell organelle called chloroplast, and inside the chloroplast the photosynthesis will be taking place. Clear? So that is the site of the photosynthesis. So chloroplast usually occurs in different shape, whereas in higher plants like angiosperm it will be in disc shape. Now, the chloroplast is covered by two membranes. The membrane present outside is called as the outer membrane, and the membrane present inside is called as inner membrane. So, simple labeling it is. Between these two membranes, there exists an empty space, and that space is called peri, means around. Around of what? Chloroplast. So, plastidal space. Now, inside this inner membrane, in this yellow colored region, what you can see is called as a stroma. Okay, so stroma will be rich with enzymes required for the that is the conversion of carbon dioxide into glucose. So it is said to be a site of dark reaction. So we are going to discuss what is dark reaction in the next slide. Now, in the stroma, there are many membranous foldings will be present which are arranged one above the other, and that structure is called as a granum. Okay, now all these granas are not free from each other. They'll be interconnected by means of membrane, and the membrane is called as fret membrane. Okay, now mechanism how the photosynthesis is taking place. Let's try to understand. Photosynthesis will be completed in two stages. The first step is called as light dependent reaction, which is called as a light reaction, whereas it is also called photochemical reaction, as it is taking place in presence of sunlight. And the details of the light reactions were given by a person called Robin Hill, so it is also called as Hill's reaction. It can also be called as a thylakoid, as grana is made up of individual units called as a thylakoid, so the reaction can also be called as a thylakoid reaction. Now coming to second reaction, which is called light independent reaction, that is also called as dark reaction. It is independent, that means it occurs both in presence and in absence of the sunlight. It can be also called as stroma reaction, as it is taking place inside the stroma region, and the details of the reactions were given by for the first time by a person Blackman. So in honor of him, we also call this reaction as a Blackman reaction. Okay, and during this light independent reaction only, carbon dioxide and water are reduced to glucose. So there is a synthesis of biological molecule called glucose. So it is also called biosynthetic phase. All the associated reactions which are there, that is of light dependent and light independent reactions, will be completed in four complexes of the thylakoid membrane. So let us try to understand those four complexes. So the light reaction we'll try to understand now. Light reaction will be completed in four main events, and they are: there will be photo excitation of the chlorophyll. So once the sunlight falls on the chlorophyll nucleus becomes photo excited and emits an electron. Then there will be photo oxidation, that is hydrolysis of water, that is splitting of the water takes place. Oxidative breakdown occurs, whereas the third step is phosphorylation, that is formation of ATP, and the last one is energy rich compounds like NADP will be converted into NADPH. These four reactions complete what? Light dependent reaction. So let's try to understand with the first step, that is photo excitation of the chlorophyll. So this is basic chemistry only. As we know, whenever the electrons absorb energy, they become excited and they'll jump to the higher energy level. Correct. So what happens even in the chlorophyll, when the chlorophyll absorbs sunlight, when sunlight falls on the nucleus of the chlorophyll, and one of the electrons, see here, one of the electron becomes photo excited by absorbing enormous quantity of the sunlight. And as we know, once the electron becomes photo excited, it cannot stay in the normal energy level, it has to jump to the higher energy level. See here, now the electron is jumped here. Correct. So now this electron, chlorophyll by emitting electron has become what? Photo excited. And what is created here? Electron hole, or it is called electron deficiency. So that electron deficiency should get fulfilled, and for that there will be transfer of electron through different electron carriers, during which there will be conversion of carbon dioxide, water into food, that is glucose. Clear? The expelled electron is accepted by electron molecule in the stroma side. Capturing the electron by an acceptor represents conversion of light energy into water chemical energy. How it occurs, that we are going to discuss. So it is called photochemical event. So this electron which is in higher energy level will come back to ground state. During this way back journey only food is synthesized. Also there will be formation of ATP. So this is important, student. If there is a formation of ATP by the combination of inorganic phosphate and ADP, which will be present in stroma, ADP will combine with IP by absorbing energy present in the electron. That process is called as phosphorylation, and since it is taking place place during photosynthesis, it can be also called as photophosphorylation. So now photophosphorylation is of two types. The first one is called as a cyclic photophosphorylation, whereas the second one is called non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So we are not going to discuss about these two in detail, as we are going to discuss these two in the first PUC curriculum. So this is a cyclic photophosphorylation. It occurs in the lower plants. So that's why lower plants which can synthesize food cannot release oxygen. Why? That we are going to understand in the first PUC. Now this is non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where the reaction starts with photosystem 1, correct? So what photosystem 2, sorry, and what happens, the electron which is emitted will not come back to its original level. The electron which is emitted will not come back to its original state. Because of that, electron deficiency will remain, and to fulfill that electron deficiency, water will be converted into 2 electrons and 2 protons. So this also, the details of the reactions we will be discussing in the first year curriculum. So this is another type of actually a plant, that is with the CAM. We are going to discuss with respect to dark reaction. Okay. Now, photolysis of water happens due to the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where water will split to form 4 protons and electrons, and those electrons are going to fulfill the electron deficiency. Now coming to dark reaction. Dark reaction is also called light independent reaction, and this dark reaction takes place in the stroma region. First time the details were given by a person called Blackman. So in honor of him, we call it as Blackman's reaction. It occurs in the stroma region. So dark reaction will be taking place in two ways. In the plants which are growing in tropical region will have C4 pathway, whereas the plants which are growing in temperate area, they'll have a C3 pathway. Okay, C3, that is third carbon compound, which is 3 carbon compound is a first stable compound form. C4, 4 carbon compound is a first stable compound form. So C3 can also be called as Calvin cycle, whereas a C4 is also called Hatch and Slack's pathway. Whereas, as I said in the previous slide, there are plants which are growing in the desert. So as to avoid loss of water in the form of water vapor, that is during transpiration, they'll open their stomata during night time and close their stomata during daytime. So they have boycotted the rule. Usually stomata should be open during daytime, but they are closing the stomata during daytime and opening their stomata during night time. So they cannot have both C3 and C4. So such plants will have crassulacean acid metabolism, which is called CAM. Okay, so radioactive tracer technique was used, that is carbon radioactively labeled was used so as to study the details of the dark reaction. Okay, thereby we have concluded how carbon dioxide will be converted into glucose. So this is the cyclic, that is a representation of the C3 pathway, whereas this is another cycle of that is a C4 pathway, and only the writing cycle carries a 5 marks, which we will be practicing in first year. That's about photosynthesis. Now coming to the next one, that is respiration in plants. Respiration. Do plants respire? Why are earthworm called farmer's friend? Why we loosen the soil in potted plants? Because plants do respire. See here, during daytime they are taking carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen, correct? Whereas night time they consume oxygen and give out what? Carbon dioxide. So that means they are also breathing. So to give the space for aeration, we are going to loosen the soil in the pots. And also earthworms are called farmer's friend because of two reasons, as you know, you have studied it in first year. They loosen the soil, and second, they'll increase the mineral nutrient content of the soil. Okay, so porous soil enables intake of oxygen by the root cells. So that's why we loosen the soil. Now, what is respiration? Respiration is a catabolic exergonic oxidative process Catabolic reaction it is where CC bonds are broken. So the bonds which are there between the carbon will be broken through the oxidation within important cell organelle called mitochondria. So the site of respiration is mitochondria. So what happens during respiration? Glucose combines with oxygen and will be converted into carbon dioxide, water, with the release of what energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, now energy is released in the form of ATP or heat. If energy is released in the form of what? Heat, then such type of reaction is called exergonic reaction. So it is a oxidation reaction where complex food molecules are converted into simpler units. So respiration is basically classified into two types, as you know, based on presence or absence of oxygen, that is whether the respiration is taking place in presence or in absence of oxygen. Based on that, we have classified respiration into two types. The first one is called aerobic respiration, whereas the second one is called anaerobic respiration. What is aerobic respiration then? Aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. Here glucose combines with oxygen and is converted into carbon dioxide, water, with a release of how much of energy? 686 kilocalories of energy. So this is called aerobic respiration as it is taking place in presence of oxygen. Whereas during anaerobic respiration, what happens? There will be conversion of glucose into molecules like ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, okay, in absence of oxygen. Now see the energy, how much it is released here? 54 kilocalories. So we have to remember 2 points. One, if the respiration takes place in presence of oxygen, it is called aerobic. If it occurs in absence of oxygen, then it is called anaerobic. Second, glucose is completely oxidized. Totally it is converted into simpler units like carbon dioxide and water. Whereas here in the anaerobic, the breakdown is said to be partial. Still a complex compound is there in the form of ethyl alcohol. And energy released is more in aerobic respiration, less in anaerobic respiration. So these things we have to remember. Now aerobic respiration will be completed in 3 steps. The first step is called glycolysis, where glucose is converted into pyruvic acid and the reaction will be taking place in the cytoplasm. So this reaction is independent of oxygen. So it is said to be common pathway for both aerobic and anaerobic. Whereas second step of the aerobic respiration is said to be Krebs cycle, where the pyruvic acid enters into matrix of mitochondria and pyruvic acid is converted into energy rich compounds like NADPH2, ATP and FADPH2. Whereas the third step is called as terminal oxidation reaction. It occurs in the Rakus particle where NADPH2 and FADPH2 are converted into energy, that is in the form of ATP. So this occurs in ATPase particles, or they are also called as Rakus particle. Whereas coming to anaerobic respiration is a respiration which takes place in absence of oxygen. The first step is glycolysis, as we studied here. Glucose is converted into pyruvic acid. Glycolysis is there both in aerobic respiration and also in anaerobic respiration. Later the pyruvic acid with respect to anaerobic respiration undergoes decarboxylation, where carbon dioxide is removed, and then it undergoes hydrogenation, where NADPH2 ka hydrogen is added. Addition of hydrogen is called hydrogenation. Then there will be formation of ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. So this is a brief introduction to the life processes topics of photosynthesis and respiration. Hope the session was useful. Have a good day. Thank you, students.